Hey guys, this is Tauna. Today I wanted to do a video on the bulk of Final Fantasy. Honestly, there is so much bulk that I think is worthwhile in here. What do I define as bulk? I'm just talking commons and uncommons here. Even rares, there's a bunch of bulk rares that are potentially worth it. I'm not going to really cover them here because for all I know, in the next kind of couple weeks, people are going to find them and then they're just going to shoot up in price. But either way, I want to go through the commons and uncommons that I think are worth kind of paying attention to. While some of these are going to be pretty narrow in use, I do think that a lot will have use within budget decks. However, some may find use in other decks, even beyond budget. Let's not forget about Stock Up from OTJ. Oh, sorry, not from OTJ, from Aether Drift, which was a very, very good card. I actually really like Stock Up. It's getting a lot of play within Standard and stuff like that. It's, high cost because of that, but it's also really great for Commander, in my opinion. A really, really great card. I think it's one of the best versions of these, look at the top, put some into your hand, put some in the bottom kind of cards. So, some of these may shoot up in price. Who knows once people start looking into Standard and stuff, but I'm not talking about it from that point of view. I just wanted to kind of talk about what I think are the good kind of commons and uncommons. Now, a couple of things before we get into that. Make sure you guys head on over and join our community Discord. I'll put the link down below for that. We're slowly kind of starting to build this up. Once it starts building up more, I'm, not sure entirely what we're going to do. Maybe we'll start doing some giveaways on the Discord. Maybe we'll start doing, some competitions of some kind or something like that. I'm really looking forward to kind of building up that community though. And, we've got some amazing mods over there. Thank you so much to those guys. And I'm looking for one more mod as well, if you guys are interested in that. And also, thank you so much for everyone who's become a member. If you do want to support the channel, this is a great way to do it. You get early access to some videos. I'm going to start doing more member exclusive stuff, which I've said a few times, but we have had the months from hell over here, super duper busy. My schedule, I have autism and I've talked about that a number of different times. My schedule being thrown out really throws me out. So I've been having trouble getting to do that, but this is we're getting to the point that things should return back to normal. So I'm going to start doing those. And, we're up to 16 members at the moment, which is amazing. So let's start off with the comments. First up, we had the White Aura side. I really love this because it's not only a mana rock at a not too bad a price, right? It's not a great price, best mana rocks are probably around 2. Once you get up to 3, it's getting a bit pricey, but this is 4. But it also exiles a non-land permanent. It's not even just a creature, just any non-land permanent. When this comes in, it can exile it. It's also an artifact, so it triggers all those artifacts and stuff. If you've got artifacts you want to, you care about artifacts entering, etc. We've got the weapons vendor here. Not only does this guy draw your card, but at the beginning of combat, you get to reattach a equipment for paying 1, which I like. I think that is a good kind of common here. A good way to kind of just, move one of those equipments across for pretty cheap, as well as the card draw when it comes in kind of makes it a little bit better as well. We got the Youre Not Alone. So this is like a giant's growth, right? But if you've got 3 or more creatures, it's just better. And it's only cost you 1 to cast it. It's an instant spell. I really like it, especially if you've got a John Benton deck. If you've got, 3 creatures, potentially you do Mana Dorks plus John, this is going to be great for that. Dreams of Lagona. I like this because it's surveil 1 and draw a card. Now, this is obviously 1 more expensive than you'd hope to pay for that price, but on top of it, does have the flashback, so you can play it again later on. The flashback being there is really great, in my opinion. It kind of really helps you kind of be able to use it later on, especially if you do have any kind of leaves. When cards leave the graveyard kind of triggers, this kind of works well with that too. We've got Magic Damper. This is essentially a reprint. Functional reprint from one of the cards from Bloomburrow. It gives you +1/+1 to a creature, hexproof, and untaps it for the cost of blue. I think that's good. It's not obviously going to counter a spell. It's not we've got 1 cost counter spells, right? They usually give something back to someone though. This just lets you give that hexproof to potentially kind of counteract a removal spell cast towards your commander or something. We've got Rook Turret. I really like this because it's any artifacts that enter. It is a bit costly, 4, but it's any artifact enter and you may draw a card, and if you do discard a card, I think that works well. It's kind of like the surveil 1. There's Golbez, I think it is surveil 1 whenever an artifact enters. This is similar to that, except it's going to also instead draw you a card, and then you discard one from your hand instead of the Surveil. So you're actually getting card draw advantage immediately. We got Black Mage's Rod. I like this because not only does it come in as a 2/1, which means you can use it as a blocker if you wanted to, and then reattach the equipment later on, but it's also just got that little ping there that works well. This is what Coruscation makes as a 2/2. However, the advantage of this is that it is black, like mono black. So most of those kind of, when you cast things are on red creatures, this is on mono black. So yeah, I think that's really kind of brings it up and really helpful for like any kind of black or non-red Spellslinger deck. We got Cornered by Black Mages. You can make someone sacrifice something. So because it's target opponent, you get to choose who does it. So you can target someone who doesn't have an artifact creature they can just chuck away or something, like a token creature. And then you also get to create that wizard on top of it, which is good too. We've got Resentful Revelation. Oh boy, I really like this one. So it's going to cost you 2. You look at the top 3, you put 1 into your hand and then the rest into your graveyard. You get to flashback it later as well. Mono black, as opposed to like a blue version of this, like a fact or fiction or something. You get to choose what it is yourself as well. Overall, this is good, especially if you're in like a graveyard based deck. Like I think I should probably be running this in my Disa deck, because then I can draw 3. I can put into the graveyard let's not draw, look at the top 3, put into the graveyard the Tarmogoyfs, and then they can come back anyway. We've got Vincent's Limit Break, and this is the one that kind of inspired me to make this video, because oh boy, I'm really surprised this is a common. So not only do you get to pump up a creature, right? So you get to potentially, like if you put enough mana into this, you can make a creature into a 7/2. Not only that, but when that creature dies, it comes back to the battlefield tapped. Now, it does revert back to its original base power and toughness after that. However, there is just so many different uses for this. A big blocker. You could turn like a Thopter into a big blocker or an attacker or whatever. You could use it offensively. You can use it defensively. There's a huge, huge amount of uses for this. We've got Haste Magic here. So the target creature gets +3/+1 and gains haste. That's not awful. It's not too bad. But then you also exile the top card of your library. You may play it until your next end step. Now, the great thing about this is, 1, you can target any creature with this. You could use this on an opponent's creature. You then will exile the top card. And because it's an instant, right, you can cast this on an opponent's turn, and then you can play it during your turn. So it's just essentially a card draw, right? Like it's just +3/+1 to a creature and then card draw. You don't need to pay 2 if you cast it on your turn, because it pay 2 on an opponent's turn as well, but because it's not on your turn, it doesn't matter quite as much. I just think there's a huge amount of uses for this. We've got Laughing Mad here. Just essentially Electric Revelation. Just pay 3, discard a card, draw 2 cards. I like that. It is obviously a bit more expensive than you'd hope for that kind of cost, but it does have the flashback to kind of, bring that positive up there. Red Mages Rapia here, job select, so you get to create that 1/1 and attach it to this. But whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it gets +2/+0. It's also not too expensive to reattach. Not great, but not too expensive. The great thing about this is that equipments are not creature spells, obviously. Yeah, it's obviously that it is. So that means that when you've cast this, if you've got an equipment-based deck and you start buffing up whatever your commander is or whatever that's got your equipments on it, it's going to be really great, I think. Not too bad to attach it as well. We've got Suplex. Now, I've got Suplex in here. If this was instant speed, it would just instantly be like one of the best kind of abrade versions, right? However, it's not. However, it does only cost 2. It's exile target artifact. That's the thing that kind of takes it above and beyond, because now you can exile someone's like One Ring or any indestructible things. Just being able to exile it immediately is great. I had a fringe use for this in my pre-release. I can't remember exactly what it was. I think it said someone had like something that they'll be able to bring it back, and then I was exiling it instead, which was really good. And as well as the fact that, this is just target artifact. It's not target, non-creature artifact. So if their command is an artifact, you can just exile it. And they can't, pump it up to avoid it or anything. We got Summon Girlfriend, Ifrit. Obviously, it's not Girlfriend, it's Guardian Force or whatever it is, but I call it Girlfriend. It's got the discard a card, draw a card. You do that twice and then add red for each time. I just like this guy. It's just good, right? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. You're paying 3. You're drawing a card, discarding a card, then drawing a card, discard a card, then draw a card. But then you get 2 mana on turn 3 and 4 that's out. I just think that's good. Yeah, no comment. It's just good in my opinion. We've got Commune with Beavers here. So this is a sorcery. Look at the top 3 of your library. You may reveal an artifact, creature, or land from it. I just look at the top 3, choose one, put it into your hand, rest to the bottom. I think it's good. Especially because it's just mono green, right? So this is a really great kind of turn 1 green play. Because turn 2 and turn 3, you probably want to start ramping and stuff. If you don't have a Soul Ring, this is a good. Put a forest out, tap it, look at the top 3, grab your Soul Ring, put it into your hand, boom, turn 2, you can play it. We've got Prisha's Wandering. So, obviously, you know, this is a slightly more expensive version of Kadama's Reach. Right? You're searching up a land, a Kadama's Reach. I think it's Kadama's Reach, right? The one that just searches up one thing. No. Maybe I'm thinking of Rampant Growth, right? So you're paying 1 more for a Rampant Growth, essentially. However, 1, you can find towns with it. That's good. 2, it then puts a +1/+1 onto a creature you control. Better. 3, it's an instant. That instant speed instantly makes it just really great, in my opinion. Like, there is just not enough instant speed land tutors like this. You could use it in someone's end step, and then you get it ready for your next turn as well. So then it doesn't matter that it comes in tapped. But the addition of it having a +1/+1 counter on it is good, in my opinion. We've got Blitz Ball. I don't know. I like Blitz Ball. So it's one more than a mana. An Arcane Signet. But you get to potentially sacrifice it to draw 2 cards later on in the game when you don't need that mana anymore. And it's a common. So the fact that it's a common, I think, just makes it better because now it's going to be really, really cheap. Any kind of artifact-based deck you can potentially add. All you need to do is deal combat damage with a legendary creature, which in, 75% of decks is pretty simple. So into the uncommons here, we've got Poo Poo UFO. And so I did a draft for this last night for Final Fantasy. And this boy carried it away alongside the Primeval Titan I got. Just ignore that. Yep. No. But the Poo Poo UFO, because I only had the Primeval Titan out for 2 of the 6 games. And I won both of those because it's fucking bonkers. This boy just tap, add a land, tap, add a land. So it's just additional ramp each turn. Not the first turn it's out, the second turn and beyond. It's great. We've got Sid, Timeless Artificer. I just really like him for any artifact-based deck, especially because you can have multiple of him. We've got Garland, Knight of Cornelia. Whenever you cast a non-creature, surveil 1. Great surveilling. The actual flipping and stuff like that, not so great, but the surveilling's good. We've got Garnet, Princess of Alexandria. Any Saga-based deck definitely wants to use her because now you can remove counters off your Sagas and then put +1s onto her. We've got Judge, Magistrate, Garbanath. So anytime an artifact or a creature dies, put a +1 onto him. Boom. Just build up those +1s. Really simple. And the fact he's got Menace is good too. Rydia. So Rydia is very unique in that a lot of... I should say that I don't think any creature in red or green has landfall, draw a card, right? Now, she does require you to discard a card to be able to do that. But even, let's just ignore this part here. Let's just ignore the whole Saga thing because, that's there. That's fine. If I'm playing like a landfall deck, if I look up landfall and draw, there is only there's 10 different cards that can do it. Or maybe not even that. I think there's only 9. But you're looking at Tatiova, which is cost 5. This is turn 2 that you're getting this out. Really simple, really great. We've got Quina, Q, Gourmet. I like it because it's going to get you frogs in addition to the other tokens that you get. So now whenever you create a food, you're creating a frog too. The frog could be a food depending on what your deck is, which is good. We've got Saz's Chocobo. Again, another really great turn 1 play, in my opinion, for a green Landfall deck. Just starts pumping up really, really easy, especially in like a limited format. It just, yeah, I think that, you know, while the Primeval Titan was amazing, this little dude here won me, I think 2 of the games as well. It was great. Tifa's Limit Break, just a huge finisher, triple the toughness and power. Obviously, that costs a lot, like you're paying 8 to do that, but it is huge. It is a finisher. You've got like a 6/6, boom. Now that's an 18/18, potentially with trample or something. It's insane. We've got Galuf's Final Act. I like this because you can use it to, you know, buff up your creature a little bit, and then if your creature's going to die, now all of that plus what, all that is counters or whatever that are on it, or just its power overall, it's just going to shift over to one other creature that you've got. So your opponent thinks that they're going to remove something, right? They've cast their death spell, they cast like, you know, their murder or something like that on your creature. Boom, now all of its power goes onto another creature. You can do this at instant speed as well. There is a huge amount of uses for this that are really great. We've got Fang Fearless, however you pronounce that, Icy. I don't know. Whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard, draw a card and you lose 1 life. There was a similar card from Dragonstorm that did this without the lose a life, but it also was not in black. It was like a Simic card, I think. And next up we have Overkill. So the great thing about this is that it bypasses Indestructible. It just gives target creature -9999 until end of turn, which means that it does technically die. However, because it's not, you know, dying in the traditional sense, it's not getting destroyed. It is going to allow you to be able to kill those off, which is really good. A really interesting kind of bypass for that. And, you know, it's only 1 more expensive than what you'd be hoping for a kill card. So, unfortunately, it doesn't have like the additional like remove an enchantment or anything like that, but you don't even need to pay life for this, which is good. It's also instant speed, which is great. We've got Phantom Train. I love Phantom Train. You can sack anything at instant speed to turn it into a spirit creature, which is good. You can sack as many things as you want in a turn as well. So, you know, your board's dying, boom, everything gets eaten by the train. You've got a huge train, and then you can bring it all back somehow. We've got the Freya Cresant. So I like her because she is a mana dork, a red mana dork, which is good. But not just that, she also has this flying, which while it's not going to be relevant a lot of time, because most of the time you're probably going to use her to tap her for red and stuff, you can potentially get her big herself and then throw her at people because she has flying. We've got Opera Love Song. So while you're probably looking at this and being like, oh, this is not great, like, you know, this is just a normal, instant, a normal, like, impulse draw. It is not, because it's instant. You can cast this again on an opponent's turn, impulse draw 2 cards, and then you can play them on your turn, which is good. You can also buff things up if you wanted to instead, which isn't bad. You can use it, like, you know, to get that final hit in on someone or something. But I really like the fact that you can impulse draw, you know, at the person just before yours, end step or something, and boom, now you get to be able to play those cards on your turn. We got Swallowed by Leviathan. So counterspell is like a normal counterspell is 2 blue, right? Like the actual traditional counterspell. This is 1 more than that, but you get the Surveil 2 kind of tapped onto it. In most decks that you're most likely going to be running this in, you'd want to be able to have stuff in your graveyard, whether it's a Spellslinger deck would have stuff in its graveyard, whether it's, you know, a self-mill deck, you'll have stuff in your graveyard, to the point that this part here, where it's they need to pay 1 more in each, is just irrelevant, as well as the fact that you do get to Surveil 2 prior to that as well. So, you know, worst case scenario, you play this, you haven't got anything in your graveyard yet, you can Surveil 2, chuck both of those in the bin potentially, and then they need to pay 2 extra, which, you know, they might not want to, or they might not be able to. We've got Ash, Princess of Dalmasar here. I really, really like her. So whenever Ash attacks, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal an artifact card from among them and put it into your hand. So you get to essentially kind of impulse draw up. It's not impulse draw. What is it? Just draw up? Maybe it's impulse draw. I don't know. An artifact into your hand, which is good. The rest go to the bottom of your library in a random order, but you get to, especially in like an artifact based deck, whether it's just normal artifact, whether it's equipment or whatever, it's going to be useful. You can get some really great stuff just by being able to get this kind of free card draw. This is essentially like draw an artifact from the top of your library. We've got Battle Menu. I really enjoy Battle Menu because it's modal. Modal spells are some of my favorite spells in Magic because of the fact that you get to like choose, and they're just more versatile. They have a lot more uses, whether it's, the tiered ones that we showed before, whether it's like this with the Battle Menu, being able to like choose any kind of different whatever you need at the time. Do you need some life gain straight away? Do you need to destroy that creature over there? Do you need to buff up your creature, or do you need a creature? Yeah, there's just a whole bunch of different uses for it that you can really kind of, do a lot with it. We've got Restoration Magic, talking about tiered cards. This one here, you can protect one thing that you've got. You can protect one thing you've got and then gain life. Or you can use it for a very awful price of 5 to protect everything that you've got. It is all permanents you control, gain hexproof and indestructible. You do gain 6 life on top of that as well, which is nice. But most likely, just paying even just a white to give one thing hexproof and indestructible is good. You can pay 1 extra if you've got it spare to gain that life too. Most likely you're not going to use it for this, but these first two are pretty decent. So I'd love to hear from you guys as to what you think. Are there any that you think are worth adding into your decks? Any of these that you think that I've missed? Let me know. Have a great day and goodbye.